For years, you've been lied to about how to keep a conversation going. Those 100 questions to remember lists? Useless. Just be confident advice? Empty. Force small talk? That's why people avoid you. The truth? Never running out of things to say has nothing to do with your memory and everything to do with this one mental hack. Use it, and you'll never panic in a conversation again. My awkward past. Let me take you back to a moment that still makes me cringe. I was at a networking event, sweating in a stiff dress shirt, gripping a drink like it was my lifeline. Across from me stood a successful entrepreneur, someone I desperately wanted to impress. My brain, empty, my mouth, dry. All I could muster was, "So, what do you do?" He gave me a polite smile and said, "I run a tech startup." Silence. I panicked. "Oh cool, tech is great." Another agonizing pause. His eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape. Finally, he mumbled an excuse and walked away. That was the moment I realized I was the boring guy people avoided. And it wasn't just at networking events. First dates, I'd rely on the same tired questions. Where are you from? What do you do? Until the conversation flatlined. Even with friends, I'd sometimes zone out, terrified I had nothing interesting to add. I told myself, maybe I'm just not a talker. Maybe some people are born charismatic and I missed that gene. But then, everything changed. The breaking point that forced me to change. A few months later, I was at a party watching my extroverted friend Jake hold an entire group captivated. He wasn't reciting interview questions, he wasn't performing. He was just talking, and people loved him for it. At one point, someone mentioned traffic, and Jake launched into a hilarious story about getting stuck behind a parade of protesting llamas in Peru. The group erupted in laughter. Then, without missing a beat, he turned to someone else and asked, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen on your commute?" Just like that, he turned small talk into a memorable conversation. That night, I cornered him and demanded, "How do you do that? How do you never run out of things to say?" Jake shrugged. "Dude, I don't think of things to say. I just listen and react." At first, I thought he was messing with me, but then I started paying attention to real conversationalists, not pickup artists or YouTube alpha males, but people who genuinely connected with others. And that's when I discovered the 3 keys that flipped my social life upside down. I spent months studying psychologists, FBI negotiators, and even stand-up comedians. Anyone who mastered the art of effortless conversation. Here's what I learned. 1. Most people approach conversations like a tennis match. They wait for their turn to speak, rehearsing their next line while ignoring what's being said. That's why conversations die. 2. Charismatic people don't prepare responses. Instead, they treat conversations like treasure hunts. They listen for details they can latch onto, emotions, unexpected facts, contradictions, and dive deeper. 3. Awkward silences aren't failures, they're opportunities. The pressure to fill the silence is what makes us blurt out boring crap. But the best conversationalists lean into pauses, using them to steer the talk somewhere more interesting. I tested these principles everywhere. Coffee shops, dates, even random Uber rides. And the results were insane. The transformation, from awkward to effortless. A year after that cringe networking event, I found myself in a similar situation. Same kind of room, same kind of people. But this time, I talked to a venture capitalist about why he hated PowerPoint slides. Turns out he once saw a CEO accidentally display his vacation pics instead of financials. That led to a debate about the worst presentation disasters, which got 3 other people to jump in with stories. By the end of the night, he was asking me for advice. That's when it hit me. Conversation isn't about being interesting, it's about being interested. And the best part? You don't need to memorize a single script. Because once you master these 3 keys, your brain automatically generates endless things to say without panic. Key number 1, the detail hunting technique. Let me tell you why most conversations die almost immediately. It's not because you're boring, It's because you've been trained to listen wrong. Right now, when someone tells you about their weekend, your brain is probably doing this. They say, "I went camping last weekend." You panic. "Oh God, what do I say next? That's nice. Where did you go? Crap, that's so basic." Meanwhile, they've moved on, and you're stuck in your own head. This is why conversations feel like interviews instead of natural flows. Here's the fix. Stop thinking of responses. Start hunting for details. Every sentence contains hidden hooks most people miss. Your job isn't to be interesting, it's to be interested. How to do it? Listen for expandable words. Any noun, verb, or adjective can be a conversation starter. "I went camping last weekend." Camping. What's the most unexpected thing you've encountered in the wild? Weekend. Do you usually plan trips last minute, or is this something you've had booked for ages? Dig for stories, not facts. Facts are dead ends. Stories keep things alive. Weak. Where did you camp? Fact-based. Strong. What's the one thing that almost ruined the trip or made it unforgettable? Story-based. Real-world example. At a party, someone mentioned they just got back from Italy. Instead of the usual, "How was it?" I asked, "What's the one thing you ate there that ruined all Italian food for you now?" They lit up and spent 10 minutes describing a pasta dish so good it made them angry. Then they asked me about my travel horror stories. Why this works? People love talking about their experiences. Neuroscience shows it activates reward centers. Specificity equals memorability. You're not just another "that's cool" person. It takes pressure off you. You're not performing, you're guiding. Try this today. In your next conversation, focus on one detail they mention and ask a question only about that. Watch how much longer and better the talk flows. Key number 2, the thread the thought method. Here's a hard truth. Awkward silences happen because you're treating conversations like straight lines when they're actually spider webs. Every single thing someone says has multiple connection points. You just need to see them. Let me show you how this works in real time. When someone says, "Work's been busy," most people panic and default to one of 3 boring responses. "Oh yeah?" Dead end. "What do you do?" "That sucks." Conversation killer. But here's what conversational masters see. That simple phrase contains at least 5 potential threads you could pull. The emotional thread. That stressed or energized kind of busy. The industry thread. Is this just your busy season, or is your whole industry crazy right now? The future thread. Think this is the new normal, or will things calm down? The personal thread. What's your go-to way to unwind when work gets like that? The observational thread. I've noticed so many people saying that lately. You think it's our always-on culture or something else? The magic happens when you realize you don't need to choose the right thread. You just need to pick any interesting one. Here's why this works so powerfully. It mimics natural conversation flow. No one actually talks in Q&A format in real life. It gives you infinite material. Even boring topics have angles if you know how to look. It makes you fascinating because you're taking conversations to unexpected places. Pro tip. The best threads often start with, "What's the most?" "How do you?" "Why do you think?" "When was the last time?" Try this today. Next conversation, mentally list 3 possible threads after each thing they say before responding. You'll be shocked how quickly this becomes second nature. Key number 3, the opinion anchor shortcut. Here's a psychological truth bomb. Facts create dead ends, but opinions create conversations. Think about it. When was the last time you got excited responding to "what do you do" versus "what's your controversial take on"? This is your secret weapon. The opinion anchor works because it triggers our hardwired need to agree-disagree. It reveals personality, which builds real connection. It automatically makes conversations more memorable. Here's exactly how to use it. The controversial hook. Most people think small talk is pointless, but I've noticed the best relationships start there. "What do you think?" Everyone says social media connects us, but I'm realizing it makes us worse conversationalists. Agree or disagree? The best worst framework. What's the most overrated workplace perk companies offer? What's the most underrated skill for succeeding in your field? The personal benchmark. Where do you stand on the friends at work debate? Essential or dangerous? Is this one of those fake it till you make it situations, or should you be fully qualified first? Why this works like magic. Neuroscience shows opinions activate emotional centers 3x more than facts. It positions you as thoughtful rather than interrogative. People will remember conversations with you because they revealed something real. When your mind blanks, and it happens to everyone, use this FBI hostage negotiation turned conversation hack. Let 2 seconds of silence pass. Feels longer than it is. Say with mild curiosity, "Wait, I was just thinking about what you said about." Repeat their last 3 to 4 words slightly slower. Watch them expand automatically. Example, them, "I'm thinking about switching careers actually." You wait, "I was just thinking about what you said about switching careers." Them, "Yeah, it's because I realized," and they're off. Why this belongs in your toolkit. Works when exhausted, stressed, overwhelmed. Makes you seem more attentive than you feel. Gives you breathing room to find a thread. Pro tip, combine this with thread the thought for unstoppable flow. Alright, here's your challenge. Try just one of these techniques today, whether it's detail hunting, thread the thought, or the opinion anchor, and then come back here and reply with how it went. Did it save you from an awkward silence? Spark a surprisingly deep conversation? I read every single comment, so let me know. And if you want to see these techniques in action and laugh at how badly they can go wrong, stick around for the bloopers, where I demonstrate exactly what not to do in conversations. Trust me, it's painfully relatable. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I drop a new video every day to help you communicate like a pro, whether it's crushing small talk, mastering storytelling, or turning awkwardness into charm. And remember, conversations aren't about being perfect. They're about being present. So go out there, try these tips, and let me know what works for you. Thank you for staying with me till this time. I'll see you in the next one.